As it is customary to this Ogbako Biafra channel, I say welcome all viewers of this video presentation, and I greet you from based on wherever you are across the globe. I am here in the Western Hemisphere, the Central Time Zone, and it is 13 minutes after 12 midnight here. And moreover, we wash and clean our hands. Nanzu Nedo Nario Chukwu Okike, the spirit of the creation, the spirit of creator, to help us wash our hands, to be able to be clean, to invite him to be in our midst in this groundbreaking video presentation from Ogbako Biafra. Because he is clean, so does he expect us to be. Therefore, we welcome him on his Eke Day. Welcome him on his Ori Day. Welcome him on his Afo Day, and welcome him on his Nkwo Day. O Chineke, may all the glory and praises be to your name, and we pray that you lead and guide us through this video presentation. This is your word, it's not ours. And then we're presenting it to you from here. Ogbako Biafra. Ebe anyị si na-aga ogu. Ebe anyị si na-aga ogu. Ma gị gawara anyị ọgụ. Na-arịọkwana gị sị gị biko nna, nye anyị egwu gị, nye anyị mmụọ nsọ gị, nye anyị mmasị gị na ịhụnanya gị na ike gị na enyemaka gị zuru oke na nchegharị nke Ishi n'eluigwe wetara anyị ka anyị n'ihu, ka anyị n'obi, ka anyị ghara ikwe, ka anyị ghara ichefu, ka mmekpa ha were dịrị anyị ọzọ. Ma ekwere na anyị ebere, ka anyị n'ire dịka isi ka nna anyị ndị kpere ikpe n'ebe their fathers, their generation, agwụrụ ha nọ, to their generation, how they judge them justly. And the Maker help us so that we do not misjudge. Maka okpewe onye jirila ya kpa afọ ọ na-ekpe aka. Onye kụrụ ụwa eke kụrụ ụwa. The video presentation today is about the Igbo DEMEKAOKARASI, democracy. It's called democracy by the heathen, which was said to have been given to the world by the Igbo people. The previous presentation was about the covenant, which is also the written constitution that the Igbo people gave to the world. Ashashi. DEMEKAOKARASI is, as I repeat again, is right. De me means do. Ka means as. Okarasi means how Chukwu Okike Abiama spoke. It's not democracy. As we will show in this video presentation, the difference or distinctive difference or distinction between DEMEKAOKARASI and democracy. And this is the principle and practice of Igbo democracy or democracy, which is democracy. It's from Eke to Igbo people, but was stolen by those, the ancestors of those who claim they rule in the world today. The Romans, Roman Caesar, they can come behind from all kind of religion, from Babel. Baal. Ba means to enter. B-E-L means Baal or Baal. Baal. So to make it clear before we go, so that everybody will appreciate what this topic is all about. It's about life on earth that leads to life after life. It is not designed to dominate. Igbos do not dominate. Then about the scope, the process and methodology of the DEMEKAOKARASI is as follows. It starts from the family of Dinawai, husband and wife and children of the same people, to the nation of one people under same covenant and the same Chukwu Okike from Eke, from the Creator, the Spirit from the Creator. This is about the scope of democracy, the boundary condition. Then it starts with the immediate family. The man is the leader, and the woman is the manager, with children as the assembly. The children have their own functions as well, which is to help their parents to run the family based on their age and their capability. And then it follows, the next is the extended family. I said several families of the same grandfather or ancestor put together. They are under the same Chukwu Okike. And the same people under the same covenant. And the head of this is in the extended family is the offer holder, or offer or staff holder. Offer is the symbol of the covenant. These are with men, women, and children also, head of household of each of those various families of the same grandparents or ancestors. Then you have a kindred. A kindred is made up of, the head of the kindred happens to be the all or four holders from different extended families. Family of men, on the woman, okibiri, nwoke na okibiri nwanyị. And MGBOTO. These are the people who participate in running democracy at these stages and level, because democracy is from bottom top and not top bottom like it is with democracy. The reverse is with the democracy, where the top will hammer down, creating slavery instead of servants to Chukwu Okike Abiyama, to run his earth. And then you have village. The village is made up of priests or foreholders from different ISHU. That's a different central house of worship, which is known as a synagogue, not synagogue, which is the reverse of the Satan and devil seeds, because what they go is where they fight wars, declares wars. They declare war. They always fighting, not to worship Chukwu Okike, because they do not know him. And also in the village, they have what they call Ndi PURUICHE. PURUICHE supposedly be where the Babel or the hidden get the word prince. And these are the Nze, Nozo, Nze, Nozo. These are the judges and leaders of battle, men of truth. If you are from the family of Nze, if your father was Nze and you're out and your father passes and you're going to be the next Nze, you will be made Nze first. And they do what they call Ishi. That's when Magoba or razor is used to inscribe on your tongue. Your tongue will get some inscriptions, which is what our fathers call Ishi. And the purpose is that if you take this covenant, make this vow of Ishi, when you are practicing to be a judge, you must judge according to the book of Leviticus, the book of the law. Iwuchukwu, chapter 19, verses 15, which means you're going to judge absolutely, fairly, justly, with truth. You will apply it to the old and the young, to the rich and the poor, and to the poor, the same equally. You will apply it across the spectrum of the people without favors. And if you don't, irregnon, which means your tongue will decay in your mouth. And if you biafra, you get back, which means if you judge that particular year, you will not judge the following year, because you might be stepped down, stripped of that, to be casted aside. You could be, your throat could be snatched, you put to death, or you be cast out of the land. And this is how this law is applied to both the PURUICHE and the rest of the people, the Ogbako, the General Assembly. And then you can then rise to be crowned to be Adaka. They say IGBO Adaka. When you hear Adaka Boro and all those names, these people are from Chuku. But they are Izon. They are Niger Dokuto, Lower Dokuto, Lower Niger, Upper Niger, Middle Niger. They are South. They are not Igbo. I put check. And then you can be made also. These are the higher prince. You cannot be, there's nothing like Eze. The only Eze is Chuku. People can answer Eze as the name because we are called by his name. But they cannot sit on a throne and call themselves Eze. That's an abomination. They cannot do that or call themselves Igwe. That's an abomination. So these are what the Caesar Askem imposed on the people. And you watch all these criminals running loose all over the places, answering Nze, also answering Eze as a title. These are not, Eze is not a title that a man, a human being, Umado Kongalaba deserves. The only person who deserves such throne of Eze is Chuku, is Eke himself, who is in heaven, presiding over the earth through his spirit. Chuku Okeke. So these names are not supposed to be used loosely. And people like Adam, people like Abiama, these were princes of their time, sent out as warriors also to counter the insurgents of devil and his seeds. Cain, who is now Kittin or Roman, and now Caesar. But they hide in the name of Britain, in the name of the United States of America, in the name of Nigeria, to commit all these abominable satanic acts for land grabbing, trying to take over the earth. But onye kroa, the creator of heaven and earth, owns them all. And he is deciding as we speak. Because there is a way you act on the line. Alachag also, the line ship runs you away. If you claim or impose yourself on the line, you must sooner or later wipe you out, get rid of you. So those Nurugarin, those who are possessing lands, whether it's in America or Africa, both of which happens to be Al-Ndibo. As a matter of fact, the whole earth was given to Ndibo upon creation hundreds of thousands of years ago. And this, what we're speaking here, is not just during the time of Moses, or you call Moses. It was just a renewal. And as a matter of fact, in my extended family, it was renewed in, I believe it's in 1965. And the war came and broke the backbone of the nation that makes Africa formidable. Or Ndibo, Al-Ndibo. Africa is the name of Caesar. America is the name of the Caesar. Africanus, Americanus. So, let these things be sinking, because there is a dispensation that is coming. As Bob Marley said it, there is a natural mystic in the air. Many will die. Many will suffer, many will die. If you listen very well, you can hear it. But do not ask me why. You ask Chukwoke Kabiama. But he's telling you here now, what is happening is that you're hardening your hearts, pursuing the broad way that leads to damnation rather than the fine line, the narrow way, guided by democracy to enter salvation. Don't ask me why. A speaker, the real speaker, is not me. It's just going out of my mouth as it flows, as if the message was given. Then we have also sojourners, IGBOs of the same people, IGBO sojourners, who were cast out by previous lands under the same covenant, must be initiated or receive orientation to repent and to be initiated into the same village. Or if not, they have an endless travel to do. Get out of there too. And these people are made ashamed of who they are since after Caesar came into the land of Biafra to create confusion. They weren't ashamed by their people or shamed by their people because the Most High says so. Do not oppress the sojourners. And will teach them the covenant. And then they have to be initiated to be under the same covenant as the same people under the same, in service of the same Chukwu Okike Abiyama, or Chukwu Okike. He was called Abiyama, Chukwu Okike Abiyama, because he succeeded in the message that the Most High sent him to say, Yasha, that Adam was tricked out of the message through his woman, Joa, later Eve, the beginning of darkness. And then there are some other people cast aside on the land. And these people have their own leaders within them and make their own, follow the same rule like those who are not cast aside or cast out of the line. And they also worship Chukwu Okike Abiyama. Everybody worship him in truth and trembling. And that's a process of repentance that is handed to the judgment of Chukwu Okike Abiyama forever. It's not something you puke and you want to eat it again. The only thing that is happening there is that they lost some of their authorities. And some of the things, there is a limitation, several limitations placed on them so they do not mix with the other set apart people. So they do not commit everybody into all that lower degree of the group. Because if everybody is cast out, who is going to be prince or PURUICHE? And who is going to be the priest? So the priest is also only Ishi in charge, the person that prepares for sacrifice, for any offering to Chukwu Okike Abiyama. That's what they call the Levite. And the name is in Igbo. And it is going to be unveiled by him at the appointed time. So we do not lie. All these people are this is what you call the set apart people. None of them is condemned forever, but limited on their action as a penalty. Limited on the activities based on their penalty under that law. Some happen to be the preacher before. Some may have been priests before. But once you cross that fine line with the covenant, because this is Chineke Agbara. People look at Agbara as Agbara Igbo. Agbara. No, Agbara is not a particular ghost walking around. Agbara is the bond. The Chineke Agbara. Arụsị is also the warning not to desecrate this Agbara, Ndụ Agbara. And there's not a ghost walk. They're not ghosts walking around and being worshipped. We do not worship them. We guard them We guard the covenant. We do not worship it. Our people call it ISHU. Agbara, ndị huru. That's the covenant our fathers guarded. Or guard. And require that we guard it from generation to generation, everlasting. Forever, not today and not tomorrow. Did somebody died in the cross or on the hook or hung, then it's a matter. Then for that reason, after that being a matter, that all the laws of sacrifice is not done or is over. No, that's a lie. It's evil comment. We should remove ourselves from. So, and then going to the intermediate but larger communities, hamlets. We have hamlets, have relationship, as a hamlet put together. Then we have another larger one, like a province. So, and these are made for security purposes, mostly for security, so that nobody crosses the bounds, or so that when we want to do ceremonies of the Passover or the tent or other ceremonies, sacred ceremonies, or even festivals, we can have it jointly each year to commemorate what the Most High expects us to do, to live in harmony, boundary to boundary. And then we get to the nation, for instance, and in all these communities, they have checks. They follow this covenant. If there's a crime, they solve it. If they can't solve it, they take it to the next level. And if they can't solve it, they take it to the next level. If they cannot solve it, which is barely few, they take it to the village. And the village is where the priest is. Even each city is supposed to have a priest. Town has priests. And they have it like that. So sojourners, or people who come to live in our labor or among us, are supposed to be under this law. Oh, sorry. Nobody's going to tell you not to be under this law, that not to resist. But the thing is that you will be told by the prophets to leave. What the Most High says to them, that's what they tell you. And if you don't leave, you don't expect only the people killing you, because Chukwu Okike Ogbako. So when people talking about Ruga and the stuff like that, and somebody coming from the Sahel, one land, the people want to buy land, we don't sell land. The lands are, it's our land, so it's a sacred land, is heaven on earth. That's where the whole earth was created. And the Chukwu Okike doesn't want us to sell land. That's why he asks us. That's why we have the name Isere Allah or Isara Ilu. We lease lands, and when we get enough to pay back, the person we sell it to, become the custodian until whenever we get our money, we pay them back and they recover it. That's Isara, to recover. So Israel, no, we're not Israel. We're not Israel. We're Israel, or Israel, or Israel, or Israel, if we recover the kingdom of the Most High on earth. The kingdom, your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's Israel. It's not Israel. Israel is the land of Caesar. So when you answer Israel, you want to be Caesar. And then we have nation. Then the nation is a collection, organic collection of these people, Igbo people, as one people under the same, one nation under the same covenant we're speaking of. So when you have all these Babel people telling you they want to dip their scripture of the Baal into the Atlantic Ocean, which is where the whole world, earth was created, or they already trying to claim they dig their Babel, which they call Bible, into the ocean, or Talmud, Babylonian Talmud, the Babel Talmud, into the Atlantic Ocean. I see. That's when you know that Armageddon, which they call Armageddon, the battle of Jenhua, Sefete, the battle of Yahushaphat, they say Yahushaphat or Yahushaphat, Yahu, Shefete, Moyahu, Sefete. So they came, the Caesars came, they saw, and they wanted to come to take the land. Okay. There's no way. And they are paying for it. They're paying for it. The bloodshed, blood of millions of Igbo people shed in 1967 to 70 over that land and before. Yeah. It's happening. It was happening. The First World War, the Second World War. Dividing that Africa, the land, the Holy Land. It continued until started and wasn't finished until Berlin was divided itself. So I'm saying all these things so that it wouldn't be like a fiction or like I'm coming here opinion. No, this is not my opinion. I want, because you're going to be responsible to whatever happens to you if you do not want to acknowledge the Chukwu Okike. Know who you are. Know who you are. Be satisfied with it and worship only but Him. You got yourself and your family and the armor, your community responsible. So we pray before we came here, we asked the Most High to help us not to misspeak or misjudge, and so help me, Chukwu. And who qualified to be a judge? Like I said before, PURUICHE, or what the Babylonians call princes or prince. The Aburichi have Magba or Rezo inscribed in their tongue, so they do not misjudge, to hold them responsible. Because in the court, both the accused and the judge have a great deal of responsibility and accountability and liability also. Equal liability. It's not in this circus they have here in the in this rule of the devil today, where the judge will sentence somebody to death, wrongly sentence somebody to death, and when found, he doesn't get put to death. And how can that work? The charade is over. So let everybody be ready to face the judgment of Chukwu Okike, Elohim, Ashada, Elohim, not Elohim, not El Shaddai, Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Jesus. Not all these Alanelu. You call him in your Babel religion. We don't have religion. We have the covenant. We have the Sefer, things written, the laws written down, DEMEKAOKARASI. That's what we have, the covenant, the laws of Chukwu Okike. Right from the beginning of time, 100,000 years ago, the scissors weren't there. Only the IGBO, not there, were there. No Ogbako. We're not talking about today, yesterday, a few days ago, nope. So, the Most High, the Chukwu Okike doesn't know them, and they don't know Chukwu Okike. The only chance they may have is by communicating with the language of the heaven to the people of heaven, the people of children of Chukwu Okike, and the language of Chukwu Okike, for them to have any chance of being saved. It's not my word. It's even in that book they call Babel, even they trampled it, and they got all these crazy devil worshippers who call themselves priests, pastors, cardinal, archbishop, call themselves imam, call themselves all kind of chic. Those things they call Chukwu, they send the call, and they want to equate it to Chukwu Okike, Yahweh. It's the same name. That's a lie. Jehovah and the Yahweh are not the same thing as Yahweh. Onyenahua. They're not the same thing. So don't come and be eating that red meat when they tell you, oh, we the same word. But what is it in English if it is not God? God is God. It is to lay this horn of the horn of salvation, lay it. Laying it. Igoya, God. This is a creature, something that was created, Kevin. It's not Chukwu Okike, and you're not supposed to bow to it. You bow to the Chukwu Chineke, Eke Ekoro. But there are levels of penalties, as I mentioned before. There is a sin you commit that can be certified with the Most High be satisfied with animal sacrifice, and normally for unintentional sins. It could be with one's life, a person's life, the guilty, the life of the guilty. He could be cast out of the land or cast aside to be judged by Chukwu for limited freedom forever, to avoid partiality. Some judges will look at probably one of their peers or their kings or somebody who has served the Chukwu so well, or the first son or so. And instead of misjudging and the whole generations be wiped out, it has happened. I can attest to it in some families. OKARASI, and it will transfer to the next family. To avoid being partial, which the judges normally do at rare occasion, is to hand that call on Chukwu, say, we cannot handle this. And they give it to Chukwu, the judgment to Chukwu, and it's for everlasting. There's no way somebody get that kind of abra and he will get mad. Some people will be talking about SYMBOLIZES, PURUICHE, because the Pope cannot come. The SYMBOLIZES cannot come because they weren't there at Chukwu. They weren't there at Chukwu, so they don't know what have transcended. So onye ga-eje gbuga n'Ishi, wuri Ishi na ezinụlọ ya, na ama ya ji gbuga ka ochie, if that's what you want. Nobody is belittling these people. Only the Caesar is using them to turn them against their people. Some of these IGBO governors, all these governors in the whole Nigeria, because these are IGBO people. That's the reason why Caesar called them nigger area. Lumped them together, called them nigger area. Fulani is a stranger. They came from, not even Futale land, they come from South Levant, where Caesar used them to destroy and take over. The most recent place they took over, used them to take over, is the palace, the place they call what is it, Turkey. If you go and type into your Google and ask what is the meaning of they will tell you is a Turkey, a word in Turkey that means grandfather. Or you place like these people, they're all wiping up down there in Syria, in Aleppo. It's not Aleppo, it's Aleppo. So the whole earth was given to Ndibo and Ndibo, or Ndibo. Right from the beginning, before Caesar and all his ancestors, evil ancestors, 6,000 years ago, just a few years ago. So let that stick in your mind, because even in the Igbo land, their people call them my brother. They always use the word nwune, because that means they love them. They love them, but they cannot misjudge. That's a reminder. So when a person that makes sense and whose people serve the Most High, some of these people are the people who are supposed to be the real praise and the preach, but because they erred, but they accepted to repent in life, with life, whatever remains he allows for them in life. And what greater people do you have than the repentant? We never fought. Never call them out of their name as a sport. But sometimes when some unrepentant ones want to overstep, then the ancient knew a way. Our ancestors knew a way of reminding them that, look, this is what you got you in here. You want to kill yourself. So, and then the guiding principle here is that this earth is like a marketplace. If you finish trading or doing your market, you pass and the others will come in. And this is the principle that is used for the concept of the creation of heaven, the heavens and earth, in 8 days, not 7 days. And then another principle there is IBIRI, KAMBIRI. See, that's why we are IBIRI, Chuku. We are not Hebrew, Israel, or Israelite. We are IBIRI, all those twisted, those IGBOs twisted in Babylon to worship Babel. That's what you worship, Babel, now. So the Most High wants you to come back as IBIRI. He gave you the earth to live, Biri. IBIRI KAMBIRI. And another one is Ebo Bere Ugobere, Kesi Beyebe Nkukwai. Let the hawk or kite patch and allow the eagle, let the eagle also patch. But whichever says or demands that the other should not patch, let his wings break. And when your wings break, what you do? You fall. I shout down. So these are the great principles of Igbo people that they got from DEMEKAOKARASI. The way they spread with the language and with the DEMEKAOKARASI. That's how they administer the process and the methodology of maintaining the covenant in truth and trembling, because the fear of the Most High is the beginning of all wisdom. And the fourth one is Okamanama atak madibia. Madibia manama abo oke ntafo. Let the doctor, the healer, the healing person, let the rat not to eat the bag of the healer, the doctor, because he carry all his medicines and the things in that bag. Let okay, which is the rat, not to eat or bite his bag, and let the dibia or the healer or doctor not curse the okay to have bad stomach, let me put it like that, or sick stomach. And the fifth one says, Umonna awo me na zoya afo mana ụmụnna mgbọrọ ụmụnna nkapịa na-ebi ọnụ, which means the community of the toad mashes or flattens the fat belly of owl, the toad, while the community of Nkapia, which is a stinking rat with the long nose, devil nose, are the ones, and devil mouth are the ones who cut his long, skunky nose or mouth. And that is the reason why all these communities, from family of wife and husband to that of the nation, each of those groups handles their criminals. They handle their justice until it gets to the nation, and the nation do not just execute the law. These sets of communities execute their laws through DEMEKAOKARASI, the way the Most High requires or demands that it is executed. So you don't go across border killing somebody. You don't go from Britain or Romans, this beast without nation, of no nation. You come to another country and you want to take their land or kill them. No, that's against democracy. So don't claim who you're not, or lie about what you do not do, and claim what you do and what you don't do. So Ogbako, kwaba nwa n'olulu, ọ na-awa ajọ afọ. This is the final one. That when everyone understands that, when the justice is totally clear, that's when that everybody will say, if they want to slash the throat or want to do all these things, they gather together with the covenant in the democracy process and they execute that justice. You don't execute justice, you don't impose justice or judgment, you execute it fairly for the little, small, big, small, rich, poor, woman, man, and everybody gets a fair shake of this marketplace called the earth, given to the Igbo people by Ekekro. But as democracy, people claim that democracy started in Greece. Yeah, that's what started in Greece, democracy. Democracy may have started in Greece. And remember, if you go and read the book of Yasha, 64 verses 1 through 9, they call it Yasha, but that's Yasha. Encounter, go counter the devil. Talking about the book of Abiyama, Adam. So these are the princes who were asked to go and counter the devil. And that's why that book is called the book of Jesha, go counter, or Yasha, or he. J is directly you. One person, single person, person to person. And then Yasha is the second person. Or third person, please. And if you read it, you will find where the whole thing started. Because when Jacob, who you call Jacob, died in Meserem, in the land of Meserem or IGBOTO, These are our people. These are not people of harm and shame and the blank and longevity. No. These are our people. These are Ndibo, Joseph, or Yahchef, which will be explained later. Joseph, he was a servant to his people and not slave, because he was the one who used the places you call Sahara Desert today. These are where this bread basket of the earth. You think that a little corner there in Cairo you call Egypt is where the grains were to feed the whole world came from? No, they came from the entire place now that the Fulani has grazed to desert, into desert, and they polluted with all their evils. They polluted it. I will say, Brother Obadiah, may your soul rest in peace, who said that wherever the land Fulani touches, it converts it into desert. That's that line that Joseph used to save the earth while he was in Egypt. Egypt kept Jacob. So when he went home, took the corpse of his father to Chevron, or Chevron, or Habron, is in the land today you people call Israel. What happened that time was the children of their uncles' children of Esau, which is Edom, started making trouble in there, and Joseph was so mad that killed some of them. So you see, when you look at an Yasharelu or Igbo person, you're going to be playing with him and playing with him like they're doing right now. But when they get mad, thunder, fire, people, brimstone, their enemies, Chukwokeke will finish them. I'm not trying to threaten anybody or intimidate anybody. But if any evil person who is pushing against Biafra thinks this is my opinion, try it. Try it and see. Try it and see. And, declare on your own dying mouth saying, or your family being wiped out, and you be crying, oh, Chukwu, you call your God. Your God is Bala, it's not going to do anything for you. If you call Chukwu Kabia Mire Regnon, because you're being warned by him right now. But you might be looking at, why would this boy say this kind of thing? Who in hell is he? One fool in England the other day was talking about that the Biafra, those who want Biafra are delusional. What is delusional? More delusional than religion? Whatever is possessing him, he's going to get it. Because his mind is stuck in free oil and the free blood and the free slavery and the free knowledge that they're sucking. The free label with their pieces of paper printed. They even do it now. Whosoever they want, whosoever does the will of the devil, they make him billionaire in electronics. You can't count that. How many trucks will you use to carry that kind of money? How many plants will you use, or trees will you use to make that kind of amount of money? So, those are mirror on the wall. But the Igbos, so-called people who claim they're Igbos today, they spoil seeds. They fall for it. We use trade by barter. If I'm taking something from you, I give you the equivalent amount, the value. You don't go and give me pieces of paper, and you come and ask me to give you a huge value, give you the whole land for nothing. Stupid. Then when Joseph hammered down on them, they later organized with Rome, cheating. That's the name. The name was Kitten. As is in the book of Sefer that I'm holding here. Kitten was the name. And they got they went, the Caesar went and tempted. Something they don't do with Fulani today against their Igbo ancestors. He went and they took went and the canive and the whispers, the snake, to Edom. Sifor was his name, the king of Kitten, Rome, or Ken, children of Ken. And he asked them to cut covenants with them, reminding them of, the throne supposed to be yours, you're supposed to be choosing people, and they took it, Jacob took it from him. An idiot. He doesn't know. Who doesn't know Chukwu? Because Chukwu will use whosoever he wants. He's not gonna give this his covenant to who has, I don't know what transpired. You don't know what transpired between him and Chukwu and the covenant, and you cannot just give it to that person. But they run after that. Igbos dominate. He didn't start today. Igbos dominate. Igbos don't dominate if you look at this very well. And he told them, formed alliance with them and the people of the east. Who is that? Who are those? Greece, Hittites, all that. And they said the number of their army was countless, so many, like the sand. And they went to revenge Mesaram or Egypt. And the children of Jacob, who lived in Goshen in Egypt. That's the way they said it, but this is Igbo history, not a transatlantic trade. That's transatlantic trade. The trade is nonsense. That's yesterday. And they went over there. The Egyptians had 300,000 according to book of Yasha 64. Over 300,000 troops, and there were 150 Igbo people, the children of Yasharel. And then, when they countered this army made up of the cheating, the devil, the sons of the devil, the Romans, which is the same people today. That's what I'm telling some of my people, and they are goofy in their rubbish worship of Baal and nostalgia for it. But I have turned very soon. They will turn into a mold of salt, like the woman of Lot, very soon. And they're turning already because of their stiff neck. And as I counter them, the cheating troop made up of Edom, the children of Ishmael, or Shashamelu, the children of Lot, or Lota, the way window, the children he got from Sodom and Gomorrah, which behave like the so-called Fulani today. Even some of these people you call Fulani from Mauritania, they call Mauritania, or Morocco. Morocco, they call them Morocco. Or Ojeru, which means they call Algeria. Or people they call those of Libya, they call Libya. All these people, they are not the children of Lot. They were only Fulanized. They were still Fulanized. And if you look at them, when you see them all over the place, you can tell these people are not the real Fulanese. You see their nasty, adulterated skin and color, complexion, you will know. And these are all fouled with their nama. And they're having sex with their nama. Yes. But Othman Danfodio probably fouled before they brought him to the Futajala Highland to commit slavery and slave trade with all our people around there in Senegal and Gambia. Those are our people. These are Igbo people. Igbo. But everybody is on the level of their commitment to this covenant and the democracy. So their origin is what I'm talking about, but not their status with this covenant. With some of them probably keeping it too. That's where slave trade started, from in West Africa, that area, Mauritania, Morocco. The flag of Morocco is 10,000 years old, they claim. 10,000 years is nothing, but it's older than 6,000 of Adam. So if your creation started from Adam, then what happened after that? So they are telling their own history. They're not telling the history of Eke, Keroa, the Creator, and his people, children. And then, in this revenge, the children of the troop of Rome, or Romans, or Kittim, overran the troop of Egyptians, or the Mesarian people. But at the beginning, the Mesarian people didn't want to put them, mix them with their troop, because they thought that they might betray them with their brothers, relatives, the Edom and Ishmael, and the children of Lot. But when they overran them, the 150 troops they have of Yashrael overran them, killed them, chased them out of the border of Egypt. And this troop of Sifo happened to be, had their enchantment, just the same thing these foul kittens or Romans or Caesar are doing today. They did their enchantment and their voodoo or whatever, juju. They're a little bit Babylon witchcraft. But the Most High rejected it and it said, hell no. Having them to be destroyed. They say their witchcraft doctor was Bela, the son of Baal, whatever. See how the name sound like snake. So, and then this is when the Satan and his children, the Romans, went into Even the Greeks, the Greeks was a part of the East, it was part of the group, and that's when they went into this alliance and they went walking underground, whispering, "Oh, if these 150 people can defeat what 300,000 of Egyptians couldn't, you're gonna watch them to outgrow and take over Egypt." And they start whispering the same thing they're doing with the food, they call Ahmadu Bello, where they took the England on only the outstanding work. Then they thought him was IGBOs dominate, and he said, if you give IGBOs, you give them a rebera position of a rebera, they will end up be in a camp. They finally become the chief of the camp. Rebera. And you call that human being? But you want to hold them down, and they cannot rule themselves. They should not be allowed to rule themselves. This sounds like what you hear from Caesar. This is the whisper of Caesar. It's not the fool, the illiterate. And people talking because he spoke like Caesar with mouth full of rubbish. That means he knows he speak like Caesar. He knows he studied. They put all this Harvard and Yale and Oxford and Cambridge, all this rubbish on you, and you think you're learning. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of learning. Knowledge without the fear of Most High is nothing but witchcraft. So stay away from Babylon. Let the Babylon fall on its own. As it's happening now, Babylon must fall. So that's what some of our Jamaican brothers sang in the song, and some people are not listening. And if you go to 90, in the book of Yasha 90, verses 1 through 6, then you will see how cheating came back and be killing the children of Edom, Esau, and the Yashmael, and the Lot. Started killing them. And that's how they're going to turn around and start killing the stupid Hausa people, or stupid Mauritania, or Morocco, or all this Senegal, and the whole of Middle East. And they even wipe out the stupid Fulanis. They finish with them in Turkey, and they rush them inside the desert of Africa. And now they became what you call, they make the reverse and make them what they're supposed to be. Beast of no nation. And they want to, because we are, Fulani is a global citizen. Citizen for, how can you be a global citizen? You're not a nation. You cannot settle because of your evil. There's no piece of land that is going to hold you. The earth is going to be chasing Fulani all over the place because of the atrocities across that they allowed Caesar to use them to commit. Mark it somewhere. And then, how long did it take? After the children of Yasharel left Egypt. Immediately they were conquered and defeated by Alexander the Great. And this evil democracy from Babylon is what they are imposing on the earth and telling you that they got it from IGBOs. You didn't get it from IGBOs. You just polluted it. You don't know the language. How can you practice democracy is this thing that is listed here, community to community, bottom to top, the same thing as this top bottom, that they ram anything on you. If there is a disease or something they bring in, they run it from the bottom top, from the top to bottom. If they want to murder people, they run it from bottom top. If they want to do a kill, they go across families and across villages and kill their own people. You do it in Igbo land and the Igbo democracy. That is what we call ochi, revenge. Because that's all that can service. According to the Igbo democracy, was gonna satisfy the Most High for it. So this is it. But do you know the blessing that came out of the installation of the so-called administrator of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, is because the Most High forced out of them a white man from Florida, who came out to speak against it, to say that democracy, the first written constitution and democracy, was introduced by Igbo people. And when Morsi was coming back, his in-law, Chitru, or Yatru, which they call Jetro, also mentioned it long before the Greeks still, took it from Egypt. And they call it, they will tell you Greece. Greek don't know squat. Greek was a thief, just a Babylonian. Babel was the Baal. Greeks was the people who happened to be the people who sacrificed pig on the altar of Yahuda, and was the Most High destroyed them, all of them. Go to the book of Yakobi. Makobi, which is Makobi. They say is Mek. What do they call it? You call it Makobi. It's the book of Makobi. Finish him. End them all. So, and this was near what you call the New Testament today, about little more than 2,000 years ago. And you're talking about DEMEKAOKARASI was instituted from the beginning of the earth by Eke, by himself. Hundreds of thousands, or not, if not millions of years ago. So with this, I hope that everybody will learn something and practice as the Most High taught his children in his Torah.